Perfect. So, thank you for joining the session tonight. Thank you for being part of this bonus session. As usual, I had mentioned to you that we will still have 2 extra sessions. I've combined. We were supposed to have 3, but I've combined the information in the first and the second one into this particular presentation. So that is what we're going to be looking at tonight. Now, we will be looking at number 1, freelancing and online work. And we'll talk about a few things. We'll talk about what is freelancing. All right. What is freelancing? We'll also talk about services you can offer with your current or growing skills. We'll also talk about where to find jobs, both international and local platforms, and how to set up your freelance profile and attract clients. Also, we'll talk about beginner-friendly tips to stand out and get paid. That is freelancing. So one of the mindsets that you need to have in this session is you don't need to be an expert to start. You just need to be willing to learn, practice, and show up consistently. That's one of the things that we're going to be talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. And the whole idea is to, first of all, get an introduction into what freelancing is. And so let's just get into the whole discussion of freelancing. Is there anyone over here who is a freelancer? Is there anyone over here who is a freelancer? Anyone over here who does freelancing? Anyone over here who does freelancing? Perfect. Can see a few hands. I think this is probably one of the things I have talked about severally and mentioned what it is. Like, what is freelancing? This is one of the questions that we will be getting a lot of times. What is freelancing? Elvis, I would like to get started as a freelancer. How can I actually do that? And some of the number of things that you need to understand about freelancing is definition of freelancing, how to actually get started, what you need as a freelancer, among other few things. So basically, freelancing is when you offer your skills or services independently instead of working as a permanent employee. Is there anyone over here who is holding a permanent job? If you're holding a permanent job, umeajiriwa, uko kazi. Now, freelancing is the whole opposite. Freelancing is actually the whole opposite. You get paid per project, per hour, or per task, depending on the agreement. That is what we refer to as freelancing. Now, a very simple explanation is you find people or businesses with problems, you solve the problem, and they pay you. That is freelancing generally, ladies and gentlemen. You find what? You find people or businesses with problems. You solve the problem, and then they pay you. Okay? That's the whole definition of a freelancer. Actually, freelancing, how many people can guess how freelancing actually started coming up? Do you know freelancing is basically has come from the aspect of killing people? Do you people know that? Freelancing actually came from a long time approach where if you wanted to kill someone, you used to look for a freelance. I think even you've had it on movies. How many people watch movies? Yeah, watu wenye wameona John Wick. How many people have watched John Wick? There's a movie called John Wick. Yeah. So freelancers in the past used to be murderers, okay? Because you are hired by anyone, you murder someone, and then after you murder someone, kazi kiisha, you get paid and you forget your story. So something like that. Kuna mtu anasema mercenary, kuna mwingine anasema kemoda. Ati freelancers are okay, no worries. But as a freelancer, you don't need a CV to actually get started. Number 2, you also don't need an office. You don't also need a degree. And all you need is a skill, internet, and a way to receive payment. All right? You need a skill, the internet, and a way to receive payment. This is one of the things that people need to understand. Internet, a skill, and a way to receive payment. There's so many people who come and complain and say, hey, Elvis, I have this and this and this. I would like to become a freelancer. Please, freelancing is not a thing that you wake up and start becoming. All right? Freelancing, first of all, is going to need you to have necessary and needed skills. Please get that, ladies and gentlemen. Freelancing is going to need for you to have necessary skills. You need to know how to design posters. You need to know how to design flyers. You need to know how to design. Basically, you need to know how to do something before you start offering that particular thing as a skill. So let's talk about some common freelance projects. And remember, we are not talking about murdering. First of all, you design a poster or a logo. Right? Is there anyone over here who can design a poster or a logo? Anyone? I think everyone should be like, yes, we can design. tools like Canva, why do you think they actually exist? They exist to allow you to do such things. How many people can write a blog post or social media captions? How many people can write blog posts or social media captions? Let me actually ask that question. That is another example of freelancing. If you can also edit videos or transcribe audio, well, you're a freelancer. If you can create a website or a landing page, you're a freelancer. If you can be able to enter data, all right, into spreadsheets and, analyze it, that is freelancing. Now, you can also manage someone's TikTok or Instagram profile. That is also part of freelancing because you don't have to be in an office to do this, all right? That's one of the things that you need to understand about freelancing. You can also be helping people by translating content from English to Swahili and vice versa. All right? So, first of all, you need to acquire a skill set. Now, where does freelancing actually happen? Number one, it happens on online platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and LinkedIn. How many people have LinkedIn accounts over here? If you have a LinkedIn account, anyone over here who has a LinkedIn account, you can comfortably become a freelancer. Right? It also happens in Facebook and WhatsApp groups. You can actually become a freelancer on Facebook and WhatsApp groups. But there are people who don't like Facebook. I don't know why people don't like Facebook. But Facebook is probably one of those platforms that you can comfortably freelance. Yeah. I get clients on Facebook like every single time. I'm getting, it's quite a good thing. You can also get clients directly via referrals or DMs. So probably you have that anchor of yours, that rich anchor of yours. Yeah. Now you design a poster for that rich anchor of yours. And after you design the poster for that rich anchor, he forwards your number to his other rich friend. That is what we refer to as a referral. Or someone can message you directly on WhatsApp and tell you that they would like for you to actually do something for them. Now, freelancing is not a job. Please get that. So when someone asks you what you do, don't say you're a freelancer. Freelancing is not a job. It is a way of life. Freelancing is not a job. It is a way of life. You're solving real problems, getting paid for your value, and controlling your time. That is freelancing itself. You're able to take control over your time. The key word is, please get this. Look at this. Controlling your time. As a freelancer, if you wake up at 8 a.m., and you spend the next 3 hours in the gym because you've been heartbroken, and then at 1 p.m. you decide to go and start working on your clients' jobs. In fact, most freelancers actually work at night. Are you guys aware of that? Most freelancers are actually working a lot at night. Majority of them. For me, I'm not a thief, so I don't work at night. But most freelancers are actually working at night. That is when their creative juices are actually very, very high. That is freelancing itself. Now, let's move on so that we continue to get a whole definition of freelancing. So, why is freelancing very, very important in Kenya? Let me first really expound on this, because I don't think your local area MP is going to tell you what freelancing is. And I also don't think your governor cares about freelancing. So, one of the things that you have to understand about the reality in Kenya is that, first of all, we have high youth unemployment. And many graduates are jobless for years. Now, because you're jobless for years, what can you do? You now have to get to a point where you start thinking of something that you can do. And that is where we talk about what? We talk about freelancing. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for you to take it seriously and say, and really consider freelancing as a thing that you can do. How many people over here have degrees and diplomas? Let me ask that question. How many people over here have degrees and diplomas? Diplomas. How many people have degrees and diplomas? How many people have their degrees and they have jobs? How many people have degrees and they have jobs? Well, okay, first of all, it's not so many people who actually get to, get these jobs. But if you have a job, congratulations. If you don't worry. It's going to be, I don't want to tell you it's going to be coming soon because I'll be lying to you. But I think you have to start thinking of something that you can do. You have to start thinking of something that you can do. But here's the problem. There are so many guys who think that because you have a laptop, you can do anything. No. Labda tu finya hiyo keyboard yako and put in a password and then log out. You need to have the necessary skill sets. And people get angry when you tell them that with a laptop, labda tu login na uweke password. Most people don't want to really get to understand that you need to first of all get the necessary skills, right? You need to get the necessary skills. The necessary skills meaning that they grant you the ability to do something. You cannot do work that you don't know, all right? You cannot do work that you don't know how to do, right? And this is a problem. This is a problem with so many people. They think that with a laptop you can do a number, you can do some magic. How many people have heard of these guys on TikTok telling you, if you send me this, yeah? Yeah, so first of all, I was talking about the reality of employment in Kenya. We have so many graduates who are jobless for years. Is there anyone who completed school in 2015 and has a job and is still looking for a job? 10 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you're still looking for a job. All right? 10 years down the line, you're still looking for a job. I mean, that's a reality all over Kenya, even across Africa. Number two, the cost of living is rising. Rent, food, and transport, they strain budgets. Now, because your budget is strained, what do? You have to look for ways that you can actually get to earn some extra income. Now, I don't think households are the same as they were like 30, 20 years ago. In the past, households could probably have survived with the salary of the husband. Yeah. Nowadays, everyone has to be working. Yeah. That's how many people have realized that. Everyone has to be working because the cost of living is actually rising. And at the end of the day, people have to start doing things that just basically bring in some more income. Come in the role of freelancing itself. That is why we talk about freelancing almost every single day, right? It can help you do something extra on the side and you can earn some decent income. Number three, your degree is not equal to the job. It doesn't guarantee you a job. Let me actually just mention that. Is there anyone over here who is in this particular session? I believe we have degree holders, right? We have degree holders over here. And I can personally tell you that we all believed in the same mantra. Go to school, get a degree. After you get your degree, you're going to be probably getting a job. That was the same thing that we actually bought. But at the end of the day, you can see already what happened. So many people are still struggling with opportunity and jobs. And I think it's a sad state of affairs. But that should not really be something that stops you from, scouting opportunity that could actually come your way. One of the other reasons as to why you find that freelancing is something that is growing and coming out to be something that is very, very practical is digital penetration, right? Most youth now have smartphones. Almost every single person nowadays has a smartphone. Is there anyone in this session who doesn't have a smartphone? You've joined the session with a kabambe. Yeah? Almost every single person nowadays has a smartphone. You're not even slowly realizing a smartphone is like a basic need, right? So that's one of the leading reasons as to why, freelancing is actually becoming so common. Now, why is it important, or why freelancing in general? Number one is you can earn from anywhere. You can earn from your home, from your cyber cafe, or you can actually earn from your phone. So the idea behind freelancing is, first of all, you have the ability to get income and earn income from any part of the world. All right? You don't also need a big office or capital to start. You can earn in Kenyan shillings or in US dollars or in pounds. Is there anyone over here who gets paid in pounds? Is there anyone over here who earns in pounds, if I may ask? I want you to see the guys who like pretending. Oh, but they are guys anyway. There are people who are actually getting paid like that. Now, with freelancing, you're also able to build real skills that are valuable globally. And I'd like for you, ladies and gentlemen, to get something. And it's a perspective I'd really like for everyone to get to understand. That it's not really about making money. It's about, first of all, getting the right skill set. Everyone nowadays wants to chant, oh, I want to become a freelancer, I want to become a freelancer. But the biggest issue that we have is so many people don't have the necessary skills or the needed skills that allow you to actually get to freelance. So that's it. Now, you can also combine freelancing with studies, employment, or parenting. Okay, let me repeat that. You can combine freelancing with studies, employment, or parenting. You have a 15-year-old baby. Let me not use 15-year-old baby. 15-year-old baby is an adult. That is someone who can eat githeri 5 times a day. So let me take, you have a 3-year toddler. You can easily manage social media profiles for people and get paid for social media management while working at home. It gives you the flexibility to do something and combine with something else. You are an employed accountant. So during the day, you are a well-known accountant. Which names would you suggest for accountants? Maybe you can unmute your microphone and tupe majina zenye unaweza taka an accountant. What names are accountants called?
Voke.
Ativoke. Another one. Voke must has. Eh?
Mo. Kasongo.
Kasongo. Kasongo is an accountant.
White man.
Madola. Kinuthia.
Ati?
Na pesa.
Kinuthia.
Jacinta.
Oh, Jacinta. Let's use Jacinta. Hizi majina zingine, they are not making sense. But anyway, we have an example of Jacinta. Jacinta is an accountant, and her day job is basically she's that person who does accounting services. But I'm pretty sure in the evening she can actually offer freelancing services in bookkeeping, right? You don't have to be employed in a company or an organization for you to provide bookkeeping services. So how does she get her clients? She gets her clients on LinkedIn. She positions herself on LinkedIn as a bookkeeper, and it's easy for people to reach out to her for the services. Now, let's proceed on, ladies and gentlemen. Now, an example of freelancing itself is a 22-year-old in Kisii can design posters for a Nairobi client. How many people believe this? Ama huamini that you can be in the Republic of Nyeri and you're designing posters for someone in Mombasa? You can do that, right? If you're in Kirinyaga, I have never understood who sat down and decided to call a place Kirinyaga, all right? So if you're in Kirinyaga, you can design, you can even manage TikTok for someone who is in the UK. A 26-year-old in Eldoret can manage TikTok for a UK brand. A 19-year-old in Embu can basically do transcription services, which I don't like. We also have AI tools that you can use for transcription and get paid via PayPal, all right? That's an example of freelancing. Now, freelancing gives you a passport to earn beyond your location, beyond your age, and beyond your degree, all right? Freelancing gives you a passport to earn beyond your location, beyond your age, beyond your degree, okay? Forget about your makartas. Think about the abilities that you have. So let's really dive into a few services that you can offer as a freelancer. So what services can you offer? You don't need to know everything. Just pick one of the services and start, okay? Example is writing and content creation. People don't know that you can actually do freelancing as a writer and in content creation. You can write blog posts and articles. You can do social media captions. You can do product descriptions, that is e-commerce. Yeah. During your own free time, go and research something called WooCommerce, WOO commerce. Go research on what it is. Go research on something else called Shopify. You can do product descriptions for e-commerce websites, and you can get paid for that. All right. You can even do script writing for YouTube or TikTok. Script writing for YouTube or TikTok. All right. You can also do resume or CV cover letter writing. Yeah. These are things that you can actually get to do. Writing and content creation. Graphic design and visuals. You can design posters and flyers for people. You can use which software? Canva and Photoshop. You can even do logos and brand kits for people. You can do infographics. You can do social media templates. You can do ebook covers and digital products. You see, the opportunities that freelancing actually provides are so many. We can also talk about web tech and digital. You can do web design. Yeah, you can design websites using WordPress or even Wix. You can even create landing pages for people, right? You can do basic SEO services. For those guys who might be wondering what is SEO, SEO is an acronym for unmute your microphones, we here to scare miujiza. SEO stands for what?
Search engine optimization.
Search engine? Yeah. You can even do data entry and Excel cleanup. That is part of data analysis. I think I would really be happy to hear guys doing even things like data analysis. Data analysis. It's a very good thing that I personally think you need to take into consideration. Virtual assistants. Everyone nowadays is calling themselves, people are calling themselves virtual assistants. But I personally believe that this is also another skill set that people can actually get to learn, all right? Perfect on it. Understand the various services that you can actually provide as a virtual assistant. Audio and video, all right? You can do video editing, all right? Video editing using tools like CapCut. I don't know what is VN. I don't know why am I forgetting. But anyway, you can do video editing using CapCut. You can even use a software like Adobe Premiere Pro. You can even use software like DaVinci. Yeah, this is part of what you can do as a freelancer. You can do transcription, mostly by utilizing AI tools. You can also even do subtitling for videos. Not recommended because of the current developments that AI tools have. But you can also do podcast editing. Okay? You can be someone who specializes in editing podcasts for people, right? You can be someone who specializes in editing podcasts for people. So many people are looking, everyone is always coming up with a podcast. Every day, kuna mtu, everyone. I think everyone nowadays has a podcast. Probably it's only you who doesn't have a podcast. So you can specialize in doing what? Editing podcasts for people. That's something you can even do, yeah? So you can think about that. You can even do voiceovers if you have a nice voice. I'm not saying it's for everyone. Kama sauti yako ni mbaya, go to church and preach, yeah? But if you can do podcasts, if you can do voiceovers, yeah? And be careful about the kind of sound. There are people who should not be on podcast, yeah? Yeah? There are people you don't give a microphone to be on a podcast. I try and say, people like Rigiji should not be on a podcast. Anyway, this is just an example. Language and education, yeah? If you can do Kiswahili to English translation, yeah? If you can do Kiswahili to English translation, you can actually become a freelancer. Online tutoring. Ama unafikiria everyone understands Kiswahili? Do you know how many people struggle with Kiswahili? Right? Do you know how many people Kiswahili to English translation is another thing that you can actually get to provide. Despite the existence of tools that allow translation, I think personally, you can also take advantage of this. Basically translating Kiswahili to... Like, for example, how many people know... Who can tell me the right Swahili word for a sweet? Who can tell me the right Swahili word for a sweet? Like, maybe just guess. Can unmute the microphone and say, which is the right Swahili word for a sweet? Yeah, it's pipi. Sasa, who is that who has a child? Yani umeingia na mtoto wako kwa masomo. But anyway, let me not blame or let me not ask a question on that. But anyway, there are people who call it peremende, but I think the right Swahili word is pipi, right? Personally, by the way, as Kenyans, our Kiswahili is very broken. Let me honestly tell you, our Kiswahili is broken. And if you have the ability to translate Swahili to English, you can easily freelance, especially for Wazungus. How many people have been to Mombasa? Let me ask that. And you've seen these guys called beach boys. They are beach boys. I don't know. I think they're known for some very, very interesting things, interesting character. I think I don't want to go further, but there's one of them I saw who was like, most of these Wazungus don't understand Swahili. So majority of the language that is spoken in the coast is Swahili. And to make it easy, right, to make it easy for these guys to understand, this guy was basically translating to the Mzungu what is being said. But the good thing about one of these guys that I met is he was able to speak various languages. He was able to speak French, he was able to speak German. So it was easy for him to translate from Swahili to German or to any other language. It's the same case like you might be someone who is told to join virtual meetings, because this is something very, very common nowadays. So you're dealing with a client who only understands how to speak English. The client wants to pitch services to people who only understand Swahili, or wants to, something like that. So there has to be someone who is doing the translation so that this particular individual can understand. In the same part of online tutoring, as part of freelancing, you can teach people what you know, right? You can teach people what you know and get paid for that. Maths, English, tech skills. If you're very good in accounting, like for example, if you're an accountant, you can teach people, you can actually teach people how to, I'm losing my trail of thought. You can actually teach people how to probably manage their finances, how to create like a, profit and loss, just very basic things. Organize webinars, do them virtually. You don't have to be in an office. You just need to be in your house. Assignment support, and let me repeat this, ethically. Assignment support, ethically. There are so many guys who actually do this online writing things. Still part of freelancing anyway. It brings money into the country, but the ethical way. E-learning course creation is also something else that you can also think about in the part of language and education. Now, let's proceed on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping I'm audible. Are we still together up to that point? Are we still together? Good. Now, social media services. You can do something like page support. You can do something like page support and optimization. What is page support and optimization? Yeah. People have TikTok accounts, people have Facebook accounts, but not so many people know how to actually manage these particular pages. You can do that. Social media management, social media marketing. These are some of the services that you can actually get to provide. Then you can even help people with daily posting and scheduling. You can help people with daily posting and scheduling. Yeah. It's not everyone. How many people over here, like, you struggle to post social media content on LinkedIn, Facebook? Like, if you struggle, one of the things you might be thinking about is getting a social media manager. And you can position yourself as a freelancer who knows how to do social media management. You can help people with even hashtag research, community engagement, and influencer support, right? You help businesses on a freelance basis. So that's something to think about. That's social media services. Now, you don't need a degree for you to actually get started as a freelancer. Let me actually highlight that. You don't need a degree. You don't need a degree. What you need is a skill, good communication, and follow through. You just need a degree. You don't need a degree. You need a skill, good communication, plus good follow through, right? This is what we mean. You get a client, right? One of the things that is going to make or build the relationship that you have with your client is your communication skills. If wewe ni ule mtu wa kuambia clients woza wagwan, it's going to be rough for you, because your communication style is going to dictate whether the client will actually be wanting or willing enough to work with you. Yeah. If you text the client, hey, woza malipo yangu ajes buda, it's very hard for someone to listen to that kind of conversation and be like willing enough to work with you. Start where you are, use free tools, and build from there. That's something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Now, so which are these particular platforms where you can find freelance jobs? So let's talk about that very fast. There are two main categories that you need to understand. The first one is international platforms. International platforms will pay you in US dollar, or you can actually get global clients. Okay? This means that you get a client, you're in Kenya, but you get a client in a place like Germany, America. You get a client in Italy. Do we have anyone who knows how to speak Italian over here? Because I don't think, I've never heard of someone who has Italian clients, but you can still get clients from the United Kingdom. You can get clients from South Africa, right? We also have local opportunities. You get paid in M-Pesa, and probably the client reverses. I remember one time I had this client who paid me, I really felt bad for that mzee. He paid me 350 shillings for a poster, and then he reversed the money. And I just couldn't understand. At that point, I honestly just, there's a bit of a problem. I'm not saying it's all Kenyan clients, but you might be dealing with some shady individuals. Like, I remember the guy, I told him, just send me my 350 shillings, I'll send you the design. The moment the guy received the design, pop, immediately, there's a message you normally receive. How many people have received that message when someone has withdrawn the money, has reversed the money? And now you probably asked to consent. So I just said, if these are the little things that you'd like to fight over, just 350 shillings, well, have your money. But here's what I did. I just went back to WhatsApp and deleted the image. And the guy was calling me, telling me, no, I was reversing the money. Those are some of the things that you will actually expect to deal with when you have local clients, all right? That's something to think about. Even international clients, they can actually say it was a bad transaction. So, but I'm not really scaring you. So anyway, we have international platforms. You can work with clients in the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Nigeria, South Africa, etc. Nigeria kidogo ni... How many people have worked with Nigerian clients? Let me just ask that. Not trying to be rude or any, but how many people have worked with Nigerian clients? I worked with one who had a very interesting name. I didn't even understand his name. Well, it was just a $6 job. And the guy took ages to pay. But anyway, Upwork.com. So if you're looking for freelance opportunities, but remember, these platforms, you just don't wake up and look for a job, right? You can use platforms like Upwork. But first of all, you have to understand that a platform like Upwork is very competitive, but has a lot of long-term potential. This means that it is easy for you to build a relationship with a long-term client and be able to convert, basically, and get even a gig that is something that can actually be going on for so long. Fiverr.com, it is gig-based and it is easy to start, especially for someone who is actually getting started. Fiverr is actually very, very good. But these ones, I just have to mention these ones because personally, I haven't had an experience with all this. I've only had an experience with Fiverr and Upwork. I started up with Fiverr, used to charge like $5. I used to do $5 logos. $5 logos that had to take you 1 week to design. And then Upwork kidogo ni shamba la mawe, but the moment you're able to maneuver, I don't want to personally lie to you. That's the thing I don't want to do. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that it is quite easy for you to maneuver in these platforms. The thing, for me, I think authenticity is important because I wouldn't want to tell you it is easy and then you realize that it is hard. So in as much as you're trying these particular platforms, you have to understand that there are like regulations, there is what you need for your profile to stand out, and there are procedures that you need to use to actually get clients. I personally have interacted with Upwork and Fiverr. But for the cases of information and knowledge for you guys, I would like to mention Freelancer. Freelancer is like is similar to Upwork in a way. There is also another platform, not very sure about it, but let me just mention it. I don't know if it's stopped. Let me first of all confirm its existence. I need to confirm its existence. It's called TopToll, all right? But this one is basically for advanced professionals. Yeah, this one is mostly, I've never really gotten to understand the various services they provide, but I've seen areas concerning consulting, something like that. We also have another platform called peopleperhour.com. This one is very good for writers, designers, and developers. Those are international platforms. Now let's talk about some of the requirements that you need for you to actually look for opportunities on these particular platforms. You need to have a professional profile. Then you also need to have a portfolio. A portfolio is basically showcasing what you do, or maybe the services that you provide. Something that showcases maybe work that you have done, clients that you've worked with, reviews that you've gotten. It can be in form of a document, a PDF, right? It can even be in form of a Google Doc. It can even be on Notion, or even it can even be on your website, or even on Canva. You can even use a platform like Portfolio Box. It's very, very good, especially when you want to create a portfolio. We also have consistent communication. Please learn how to communicate with your clients. Like if you do something, like if you're a freelancer and you've been tasked with doing something, I think the thing you need to really get to understand is communication. Communication in terms of how you actually get to deliver, right? How do you actually get to tell the client or give a client update on what you're doing? Then you also need to learn basic English writing skills, all right? What if you're new and you don't have a portfolio? You have to have a portfolio. A portfolio can even be free work that you've done. So if you're a social media manager, don't wait for you to get work fast. Offer your services for free, even if it's for like 1 week or 2 weeks. You will be able to get to build a portfolio. So think about that. Freelance local opportunities in Kenya. Freelance local opportunities in Kenya. Number one, you can use platforms like LinkedIn. How many people are aware of LinkedIn? Like, let me ask that question. How many people are actually aware of LinkedIn? I think people need to have that understanding of LinkedIn. All you have to do on LinkedIn is to create a strong profile, post value, and send messages to prospects. Like if you realize like there's a guy on LinkedIn, his name is Elvis, he does this and this, I can actually provide social media management services, throw a message, all right? You can also get to use free Facebook groups. There are so many Facebook groups that actually exist, but you also need to be careful. Yeah? Mchezo ya town. You need to be careful. Like especially if you're on Facebook. Yeah? It's easy. I've personally been assured properly on Facebook. Because yes, someone is going to be willing enough to provide you, maybe to give you a job. But when it comes to payment, the person is like telling you, how do I trust if I send you the money, you will not disappear. So this person is going to play around these tricks to try and make you send the file. The moment you send the file, it's done for you. Yeah. So always remember to be very careful about these particular platforms. Twitter or X, you can all actually follow and pitch to digital agencies and founders. You are probably going to find so many businesses on Twitter or X, right? Many startup founders, many entrepreneurs, many people seeking services. You can actually find them over there. WhatsApp groups. All right. I don't know. I opened this WhatsApp group, Kitambo, but I don't know why. But you can join WhatsApp groups where you can post your services, but it's not to spam. Yeah. Like if you're someone who knows how to file KRA returns, I think hii time umekulia proper. You can use WhatsApp groups, right? All you have to do is just start posting and sharing what you do, especially in these WhatsApp groups. It's going to really give the communication that you're someone who actually knows how to do something. gg.co.ke is also another platform that you can actually get to use for freelancing. Unfortunately, I don't recommend it. Not in a bad way, but I think Gigi has really changed what it used to be in the past. Yeah. In the past, as a freelancer, you could have used it and you could have gotten value from it. But unfortunately, over time, I think they haven't really gotten to advance their technologies. Mostly, you're finding a lot of shady people on Gigi. And plus, I don't think they take feedback very easily. I don't recommend it personally, because what is going to happen is that when you join Gigi, they're going to tell you that for you to make some money, for you to probably get more sales, you will need to upgrade your account. And you can pay like up to 13,000 Kenyan shillings a month. Unfortunately, you're not going to be getting value for money from that. You will pay that 13,000 Kenyan shillings and you probably not get a single client. So I find it very shady. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone in 2025, unfortunately. I'll just mention it. hoping that one day Gigi might actually decide to better their platform for people who actually get to offer their services. But I don't recommend it in 2025. I would rather advise you to take that money and spend it on Facebook and Instagram ads or TikTok ads. You might get a better return on investment as a freelancer by running ads that sell your services. Word of mouth is another way that people actually get to know you, or basically how you get to seek local freelance opportunity. So what happens is that people tell you what to do, and clients are actually, people tell what you do, and clients are actually everywhere. So one of the things you realize is that if you're a good graphic designer, it's easy for people to actually just get word around. Hey, is this guy called, Kimani? Kimani has really done so good for me, especially when he was creating this word of mouth. One of the things you need to understand is that you need to start small, build reviews, show proof. Local gigs can fund your growth to global platforms. Start with the local ground. Kwa ground kwanza. So how do you set up your freelance profile? Number one, your profile is equals to your digital CV. All right. CV is curriculum vitae or resume. Clients will judge you by your profile. It must be clear, trustworthy, and value-driven. Every single client that you're looking for is going to judge you by what they see online. They will judge you by what they see actually on LinkedIn. So you need to be having a very, very good and a catchy and an understandable profile that someone can be comfortable looking at. So let's look at it step by step. Number one is use a clear and a professional photo, right? Profile photo yako should not be your dog. It should not be your dog. It should be a clear photo of who you are. If you're like on Facebook, yeah? If you're like on Facebook, make sure that the profile that you're using is very, very clear. All right? Is a very, very clear profile. So let me actually open this up for you so that you can actually get to see. Your profile has to be very, very clear. Very, very clear. It showcases what you do. So like an example is this one. It's easy for a client to come and look at your profile and say, oh, okay. Oh, is this guy? All right. If you're using LinkedIn, if you're using a platform like LinkedIn, do the same thing. Do the same thing. A clear photo. Stop using selfies. You've taken a selfie with your boyfriend and you still expect someone to actually come and hire you and take you seriously. So please always remember to take clear photos. Take clear photos that showcase what you do. Sorry, that showcase who you are. Yeah? Don't put profile photos of, people. You find someone has taken a photo in a dark room. All right? Look confident, approachable, and neat. Yeah? You have nywele, I don't know. Please avoid that. Even if it is your style, remember your style is not going to get you any employment opportunity. Yeah? Comb your hair. Yeah? Smile in your photos. Look nice. Look very professional. Don't do a lot of filters. People are interesting. One time I was dealing with a lady who was a freelancer. I look at her TikTok and I look at her Instagram and I look at her LinkedIn and I look at the person who is come and I'm like, are you the same person over here or who? I don't understand. Because on social media she's light, very light. But in real life she's like a definition of melanin. So you can see generally she uses a lot of filters. You have to be very, very authentic. Okay. Number two is you need to write a strong headline. An example is you're a graphic designer and a Canva expert. You do social media posts and logos. Be specific. Say what you do. Right? That is what you say about writing a strong headline. Number three is write a short, powerful bio. Your short, powerful bio should have this. What is it that you do? Who you help? Your experience or tools. All right? Your experience or tools. And your promise. What is your promise? It's a value. An example of a bio would be something like this. I help businesses create posters, logos, and social media content using Canva. I've worked with 20 plus clients across Kenya and deliver work in less than 48 hours. Just direct. It is very, very direct. Someone can easily get to understand. That is what we refer to as a short and a powerful bio. So make sure you craft something like this. All right? Number 4 is list your services. All right, list your services. So when I say list your services, listing your services is just saying what you can actually get to do. Because I think so many people don't know that it's important for you to mention, right? It's important for you to mention what you do. Make it easy to understand what you offer. Like, for example, break your packages into basic, standard, premium. Like, you can have a basic package. Let's say you do logo design. The basic package is 1,500. So what do you get with the basic package? You get 2 logo samples. You get the final file is going to be in JPEG and SVG. Then you have the standard package. You get 3 to 5 logo samples. Ladies and gentlemen, am I still audible? So that's the whole thing you need to be thinking about, all right? Basic, standard, and premium. That is, you list your services in a way that someone, mtu wa thau atakona package, but most of the time, always go with the standard package, right? If you know the standard package, the basic package is 1,500 Kenyan shillings. Sell more with the standard package. The standard package can even be something like 3,000 or even 2,500. Yeah, that's something I realized actually works. Number 5 is add portfolio samples. All right, use previous work or create demo projects. For example, is design 3 posters on Canva and upload. It shows effort, right? Design 3 posters on Canva and upload. It shows effort. Portfolio samples. It's very important for you to remember that. So those are some of the things. Number 6 is set friendly entry-level prices. Yeah, you just began freelancing the other day, and now you're charging 180,000 shillings for websites. Someone who's been doing the same thing for 3 years is charging 60,000. So charge between 500 to 1,500 Kenyan shillings or $5 to $20 when starting. As time goes by, and you can actually increase the prices based on experience and the reviews that you get. It's important for you to remember that. I'll say this again. Always use correct grammar. Even when you're responding to the messages of your clients, always use correct grammar. Check other freelance niches for ideas. Yeah. If you're a graphic designer, don't be comfortable with graphic design. Go ahead and start looking at, hey, by the way, whatever I learned web design, it's something very, very important. Update regularly as your skills grow. The more your skills grow, always update have regular updates. Don't aim for perfect, aim for done. Aim for done, online, and improving. That's how you actually get to win. So many people are waiting for the time that you're going to be the perfect graphic designer. No, start with what you know how to do. You never know. Probably your church is looking for a graphic designer who just knows how to design a very simple poster inviting youth to be part of a youth kesha. All right? That is something that you need to really get to understand. You don't have to be perfect. Start with what you know. You don't get to achieve mastery by just saying you're waiting for you to be perfect. No. Start with what you have. Mastery is achieved after 10,000 hours of work. So move with what you have. That's the most important thing I would say. So how do you stand out as a beginner? Number 1, you need to understand that there are thousands of freelancers online, but most of them don't follow through. Consistency plus professionalism will put you ahead of 90% of other freelancers. So number 1, I'll give you 7 beginner-friendly tips that can actually allow you to stand out. Number 1 is to niche down. Don't say you do everything. Instead say, I design posters for churches. I write blog posts for Kenyan startups. Number 2 is over-deliver when you can. Deliver before the deadline. For example, add a bonus, an extra design or an edit. And write polite messages. Kindness is memorable. When you're asking for money, don't say, well, excuse me, boss, you've not sent me my money. That is it's going to turn someone off, right? You need to be someone who knows courtesy, right? Courtesy. Good evening, Mr. Minor. I'm reaching out to actually get to know whether it's possible for you to make payment. If there's any issue, maybe I can just be courteous with how you write. And if you don't know how to be courteous, you don't know. There are people who don't know how to be courteous. Use ChatGPT. It can help you to become courteous. It's going to help you. It's going to help your rude messages. Yeah. Like for example, we can try something like this. Yeah, let me try something interesting over here. I'm going to open Chat GPT. I'm going to open a new chat. Let me say, I have this rude message I want to send to a client asking for payment. Woza, boss, you need to pay me. Kwani, who do you think you are? You are Kamau. I have waited for so long. Kwani unanibeba aje? Now we say, make this message professional and kind. I want you to see. This is how you get to use Chat GPT. Like kama wewe ni mtu wa kuongea vibaya, convert your bad language into a good nice way. So if you don't know how to be kind, use Chat GPT. Gentle reminder on outstanding payment. Hi Kamau, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to follow up on the pending payment for the work delivered. I've waited for a while now, and I'd really appreciate it if we can settle it as soon as possible. Please let me know if there are any issues or timelines I should be aware of. Looking forward for your response. Now look at the first message. Woza, boss, you need to pay. Kwani, who do you think you are, Kamau? I have waited for so long. Kwani unanibeba aje? Followed by the next message. Courtesy, kindness in how you actually get to communicate with your clients. It's important. That is going to allow you to stand out, right? So let me be very fast in as I move on. Huh? Ask for feedback. After each job, ask your clients, is there anything I can improve on? Okay? Feedback is equals to great testimonials. And criticism helps you grow. Ask your clients. If a client tells you that you write very poor English, usianza kusema, unafikiriaga kwani unafikiria mimi nilizaliwa UK? Unaniongelesha aje huku? No, ask for feedback. Positive criticism is going to allow you to improve. When a client tells you that the last time we met, when you were speaking, I'm telling you, your mouth was smelling. I felt like vomiting. That is positive feedback. That is someone who is honest with you. At least next time you will go to a meeting having brushed your teeth. Okay? It's important for you to get to take positive criticism in such a manner. Yeah? A client might also tell you that they didn't like, how you work with colors. They didn't like how you write your messages. They didn't like how you ask for money. Positive criticism. Number 4 is keep practicing and learning. Improve on your speed, design, typing, grammar, tools. All right? Improve on your speed. If you tell a client 3 days, strive to deliver in 2 days. Right? Use YouTube, free courses, and Chat GPT. One new skill weekly. Just learn one very simple thing every week. Something that can actually get to help you. Number 5 is build a simple portfolio. Use ChatGPT and a tool like Canva to come up with a Canva PDF or a Google Drive folder. Like if someone asks you for what you've done, like for example, if you're a social media manager and someone comes and asks you, which social media pages and profiles have you done? Okay? You want to take screenshots of the clients that you've worked for. So these screenshots will stand out and allow you to say that, yes, this is some of the work that I've done, and this is reason enough for you to actually get to hire me. Include 3 to 5 samples of your work and send a link when you're pitching. All right? When you want to pitch your services to someone, you want to send them a link. Number 6 is to show up online. Post your work on WhatsApp, TikTok, Facebook, or even on LinkedIn. Right? Post frequently, even on WhatsApp status. Use captions like, do you need a poster? I design clean graphics for events. That is what we mean by actually showing up online, right? Be reliable and honest. Respond to messages very fast. Communicate delays in advance. Like for example, if you're pretty sure that there's going to be a delay, when it comes to the delivery of a service, I think it is very, very okay for you to communicate in advance. Just send a polite message to your client and tell them, unfortunately, I was not able to finish up because I was on the road, I was stuck in traffic, I was in a matatu, I had this and this, I was in an accident. Communicate. Don't promise what you can't deliver. Yeah, this is one of the things, this is one of the mistakes I actually made. I promised a website to a client and then I realized that I could not be able to deliver. Now, instead of communicating to the client and telling him, unfortunately, this is not work I can do, I said I know how to do it. If you can't do something, there is no need of you taking a job in the name of probably you know a cousin who can do that. Please don't do that. That is really going to cause a lot of issues and a lot of trouble for clients who are looking for some genuine service. So if you don't know how to do something, don't ever take a job that you can't deliver. In freelancing, how you treat people is as important as what you offer. Clients remember character. So if your name is Shiro or Wambo, and you have a soft voice, and the client remembers how you used to call him or her, those are some of the things that actually help you to stand out. So here are some of the common mistakes to avoid as a beginner. Number one is poor grammar and sloppy profiles. Yeah. Grammar, Kizungu, how you write. Yeah. Bios with typos and bad punctuation will actually turn away clients. Use tools like Grammarly and ChatGPT to polish your writing. All right. Grammar, write proper grammar. Number two is pricing too high too soon. Right. You're charging 5,000 shillings with no experience. Okay? Start low, build trust, then gradually increase your rates. That is what you actually get to do, ladies and gentlemen. Number three is copy-pasting generic proposals. Yeah? If you send generic proposals, something that you've generated on ChatGPT, and the client can see a million emojis, well, they will know it's something generic. Right? Clients can easily smell lazy copy-paste proposals. When you're sending a proposal to a client, and it is filled with information that is, this one has just been copy-pasted. Always personalize, mention their business, goals, or the website. It shows that you've gone a step further. Right? Number four is missing deadlines or going silent. Number one, silence is equals to unprofessionalism. Right? It shows that you're not someone who is professional. Always update the client if there's a delay. And then set realistic timelines. Under promise, but over deliver. All right? Let me repeat that word. Under promise, but over deliver. It's very, very important. Like a client is probably expecting an 1,000 shillings poster look some type of way. But when they get the job, they're like, wow, this is perfect. So always think like that. Number five is being too desperate or begging. Yeah? Please help me get my first job is not a strategy. Yeah? Please help me. I'm a struggling freelancer. I would like to do. No one is going to employ a struggling freelancer. That struggling freelancer is going to take your deposit and run away. You have to remember that. Show value, not need. Clients hire solutions, not sympathy. Let me repeat that. Clients hire solutions, not sympathy. Your house problems are not. These are problems most clients have. All right? If not clients, most freelancers. When you get a client, stop showing a lot of, oh, please, I will sleep naked. I will sleep naked tonight if you don't. That already shows where ni mlevi. If the client send you a deposit, you will just go directly to your drinking then. Stop showing a lot of need and seeking sympathy. Oh, my family abandoned me. That is not the client's problem. There are people who start taking loans from clients. By day 2, ushaanza kuambia client, nadai kafeva. Yeah? Kafeva tu kidogo hivi. Kidogo tu. That is a mistake that you make. Number 6 is giving up too early. Rejection is normal. Even pros get told no. Even people like me, we send proposals and we are told, hey boss, unfortunately we don't want to work with you. You must send 10 plus pitches before you get your first yes. All right? You will be someone who is aware that you will get a lot of no's before you actually get a yes at the end of it all. Good. Number 7 is not following up. Many people forget to message again after the first pitch. Yeah. I'm not saying that you start messaging someone every single day and then you wake up in the morning, hey, did you see my message? Hi, why are you silent at me? By the third time, you'll have been blocked. All right. A polite follow-up shows that you're someone who is serious and organized. Freelancing is not a marathon. Freelancing is a marathon. You need patience, skill, and follow-through. Right? Most people fail because they stop trying. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Are we still together up to that point, ladies and gentlemen? Tuko pamoja? Are we still together? Good. Now, in the next 10 minutes, we'll talk about something very, very important. Na hii kitu imesumbua watu wengi, typing and Google Forms. Typing practice. I think Google Forms will cover in our final session tomorrow. But let me first of all talk about typing practice and speed building. How many people know how fast they type? Kuna mtu anatypingi 10 words per minute. 10 words per minute. If you were depending on you to deactivate a bomb, we would as well just wait and die. 10 words per minute. Now, why does typing speed actually get to matter? Number one, it saves time when working online. There is someone who types 15. How many people struggle? There's a person I saw who wrote a whole page document, one page. You write a whole 1-page document in 2 hours. 2 hours you're typing. 2 hours. Unaandika, una realize. And how many people type when they're looking at the keyboard? I think you know an illustration of how those guys type. You're typing like you're Ramapithecus, boy, yeah? Ramapithecus. Is it Ramapithecus? I'm a Homo habilis, right? I'm not trying. How many people type like that? If you type like that, I'm sorry for calling you Homo habilis. But no, get that. You're a Homo sapien. This is a comic. Sawa. The guys who are getting agitated. Nikisema kitu anasema, we fara we unatuambia nini, yeah? That was just a joke. Someone else is calling you Zinjathropus. Zinjathropus. Okay? Now, the reason as to why typing speed is very important. In number one, it helps you and saves time when you're working online. It helps you write emails, proposals, and reports faster. It boosts productivity in freelancing, data entry, writing, and transcription. Typing faster is the same as earning faster. You have to understand that. The faster you type, the better you are actually able to deliver efficiently. And remember, you're not delivering shoddy work because you're typing fast. Now, if you're someone who actually types fast, you can actually do more than transcription jobs. Yeah. Office workers who actually office workers who are able to type faster and respond to emails faster are actually more happy and more productive. And freelancers can actually write proposals, captions, or blog posts with speed. So it's something that is quite important. And typing helps you focus more on ideas and less on struggling with the keyboard, right? It's important for you to just have that grasp of the reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is typing speed? Typing speed. What is typing speed? Now, typing speed is measured in WPM, words per minute, right? How many words can you type accurately in 1 minute? That is what we refer to as words per minute, WPM, all right? Now, let me just get this. Now, for example, if you're a beginner and you just started this whole thing about typing, you will probably be typing between 0 to 20 words per minute. This one means that you're actually very slow and you need some practice. An average someone who actually types on an average speed or an average skill level is going to be typing between 25 to 40 words per minute. This one is the place where most computer users fall. We also have intermediate. Intermediate is 40 to 60 words per minute. This one is ideal for freelancing and office work. All right. Then we have fast. There are guys who type 60 to 80 words per minute. I don't understand how they type 60 to 80 words per minute. I have never understood. Because that is someone who is writing 1 word per second. Right? Because if 60 seconds make 1 minute, and this guy is doing 60 to 80 words per minute, I don't understand how you type a whole word in 1 second. Someone is saying your girlfriend. Mutaje, mulete hapa tumuone. Right? Then we have pro level. Now, if you're a pro level, you can write 80 plus words per minute. This one is actually excellent for transcription. Who can type 100 words per minute? Let me ask that. 100 words per minute. Let me tell you, when you're heartbroken, na uko na makasiriko, you will type 100 words per minute. Believe me. Utaandika, but when you're told to write a document, you will not be able to do that. A heartbroken person anaweza kuandikia matusi. They will write those things. They have the skill set. Get heartbroken one day. You'll be writing makamasi iko kwa tumbo, but you're writing 120 words per minute as fast as a cheetah. So, now accuracy actually really matters. Typing 80 words per minute with 30% errors is not helpful. So the goal is high speed plus high accuracy. You don't have to be someone who is typing fast, yeah? Don't try and look for that. You want to type like a magician or something like that. So please think about something. Be someone who knows how to generally get into the whole thing of understanding typing itself. All right? Now, I don't want to talk about a number of things, but I'd like for you to actually take this particular test. It is a test on how to know your speed when it comes to typing. There is a website called ratatype.com. Right? Hii najua ndio itaniaibisha. Uone mwalimu venye ataibishwa hapa. Akiwa amesema ati they can write 60 words per minute. So there's a website called ratatype.com, and it allows you to test your speed. You can test your speed. That is basically your typing speed, and see how fast you can actually get to type. I want you to look at this. So I can start with fireflies, produce light through chemical reaction. Hey, hala. Hey, bio. This is bio. Hey, luminescence. Which occurs in their lower abdomen. Full stop. This light is nearly 100% efficient. Meaning almost no energy is wasted as heat. Full stop. Fireflies. I don't understand. I can only do 38 words per minute. Right? So please make sure you go ahead and do this test. But it's still slow. 38 words per minute puts me under this category. I'm an average. Yeah. So make sure you go to search this website, and you can even go ahead and check out this other website called Kibanda. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you are able to do like a typing test to test how fast you can easily get to type. These are very, very important tests. Someone is saying naona kajasho, right? Make sure you go ahead and try these particular platforms. They really help you, especially when you want to refine your typing, your typing skills. Now, they might be riddled with a lot of ads, but just go ahead and try them out. You can see they even teach you how to actually get to type. But for me, I think I would recommend you go ahead and do Ratatype. It's much better. This one is much better. My accuracy is 92.4%. Yeah, that's kind of amazing. So yeah, I think I'd really like to bring the session to an end at that point. I think the other things we're going to be talking about them tomorrow. But I really hope that you've learned something in the session. I really hope that you've learned something that gives you some knowledge and information on how you can actually get started. So, yeah. My eye-hand coordination was affected by the tear gas. I'm a pro. You're just looking for an excuse. Yeah, please make sure that you go ahead and try that out. I think it's an amazing test that you can actually get to take. It's going to give you some knowledge and information on how you can actually just, get started in this whole thing of, learning how to type. It's so many people who actually struggle with typing in 2025. So go ahead and learn. So is there anyone who has a question, ladies and gentlemen? Is there anyone who has a question? You can ask your question in the chat section because we are quite a number of us. Is there a difference between freelancing and remote work? Yeah, remote work is basically you get employed, but now instead of working in an office, you're probably going to be working from home, but you're doing work. It's employment, really. But now for this, you're working for maybe one single person. Good. The quiz did not respond. It should be responding. Yeah, it should be responding. You need to also make sure that you check your internet and also make sure that you're not using a VPN. All right. Slowly finding more value for having a laptop. Good. All right. 34 words per minute again. Okay, that's someone who actually just did the test. Good. I'm looking at the questions. Which social media platform do you find most responsive to ads? I think Meta, Facebook and Instagram. TikTok recently rolled out ads, but you really need to understand it seriously. So, yeah. I think Meta is very good. Yeah. Meta, that is Instagram and Facebook. Right. Susan is going to be sharing the slides with you guys. Susan is going to be sharing the slides. Good. I'm happy to see that people are getting confident. No, the certificates will not be sent on email. They'll be available on the learning management system. Yeah. Good. I have done the quiz, but I can't share. You've locked the group. Yeah, we've locked the group because, I don't know, there are guys who are sending a lot of messages. Wanaanza kutuma messages usiku, but we'll open it up just for a few minutes. Oh, sorry. The quiz. Let me sort that out regarding the quiz. Any ideas on services you can offer while working with children? Digital services, that is kindly. Well, social media management, digital marketing, search engine optimization. Good. Yeah. Those are some of the things that you can also get to really consider. They can add some value to you or for you. Can the WhatsApp group be only admin post? Yes, it's actually admin post only. Let me have a look at that. Can we still send the quiz? Yes, you can. You can. All right. Which digital skills can I learn as a junior course in software engineering? I think we've just mentioned a few of them. Social media management, digital marketing, virtual assistants, web design, graphic design, video editing. Very good. Good. Where can I learn more about data analysis? Start with free YouTube classes. They're very good. They're very, very good. They're very, very good that you can. They're very good. You can classes that you can actually get started with. What can a secretary do? I personally don't know, but you need. I normally tell people you need to do some self-assessment. I want to join your freelance group. How do I go about it? More details will be shared in the Telegram channels. I think we have several Telegram channels, WhatsApp groups, WhatsApp communities. Which Adobe Photoshop version can I install in a laptop with 4 GB RAM? None. I don't recommend it. At least have 8 GB RAM, but the recommended is 16 GB RAM. I am a nurse. What skills can I venture in? I think before you start learning these skills, you need to do some self-introspection. I can't recommend any skills to you that I don't think I can really recommend any skills without you, first of all, understanding yourself, right? Some self-introspection is basically, you want to ask yourself the questions that, What is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I'm interested in? Because if I tell you to do graphic design and I don't know what your background is, you need to first of all get to ask yourself those questions on where is my power, right? What is something that I find interest in? What is something that I used to love in the past? Yeah. So think about that. So yeah, it's already 9:14 p.m. I think I just want to bring the session to a close at that point. And I really hope you've learned something tonight. So thank you so much for being part of the session tonight. I look forward for us doing the final session tomorrow. Thank you so much and have yourselves a good night.